There is no space, obviously. The stars, as all the astronauts say, cannot be seen from space. All the other planets on Saturn and all these other satellites on these other planets are revolving. Yeah, no, it's 2-6. 22.
CC, what the hell are you doing? Come back!
I lose track of these dates because they don't really mean anything, really, except days of your lives.
Well, yeah, what the hell do you want dates to mean?
Anyway, the video that I posted the other day, yesterday, with the 3 suns.
Have you been watching Star Wars again, CC? Oh no, wait, that's 2 suns, isn't it?
You know, I mean, that really is a halo. I mean, that is reflection coming off the dome.
What? Well, it is a halo, yeah. But a dome? Really? So it's not a sundog or a mock sun, also called a parhelion in meteorology. It's a dome. You know, that thing that flat earthers love but can't prove exists. A parhelion is an atmospherical optical phenomenon that consists of a bright spot to one or both sides of the sun. 2 sundogs often flank the sun with a 22-degree halo, but it's caused by extremely cold weather conditions, not a dome.
And that's what creates that. And if you look up very quickly, you can see that it's almost the shape of a dome.
But lots of things are the shape of a dome. Look at my head. Neither of them prove that the Earth is flat, mainly because it isn't. I'm not sure where you're going with this one, Cece.
So we don't know what is above us.
But you just said there was a dome above us.
There is no space, obviously. The stars, as all the astronauts say, cannot be seen from space. Does that make any sense at all to you?
Absolutely none at all, CC, but that's mainly because no astronaut ever has said that you cannot see stars in space. And if there's no space, where exactly are we then? And which astronauts say you can't see stars in space? I've never heard anyone, apart from idiots like you, CC, say that you can't see stars in space. If I was gonna make a guess, I would imagine that you meant to say, why can't we always see stars in photographs taken in space? And that's very easy to explain. The reason you don't see a lot of stars in photographs from space has to do with exposure time. Stars aren't visible in a lot of space photographs because starlight is much dimmer than the sunlight and other objects in the photos. I would have thought flat earthers knew an awful lot about being dim.
You can't see stars when you go into space? Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, because of the sun, right? No, it doesn't. It's because they don't exist. It's a light show up there. It's an amazing light show up there. And that's all it is.
Okay, a light show. Where's the switch? And more importantly, who controls it?
I don't know where these lights are coming from. I mean, is it coming from the dome or is it a separate system on top of the atmosphere? I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea.
No need to state the obvious, CC. We can see that you've got no idea. I mean, you are a flat earther after all. You make these crazy outlandish claims and you never have any citations. You've never got any way of backing it up. And you most definitely never have any evidence for what you say.
All I know is when you get up there.
Get up where?
And we've done it.
Done what?
You don't see any stars at all whatsoever.
Everybody stop. Whatever you're doing, just stop. So when we get up there, I'm going to assume he's talking about space, which he also thinks is face, so quite how we get up there is a bit of a mystery to me. You don't see them. But how can space be fake and you claim that we've been up there, which we have many, many times? But you can't have it both ways, CC. Either you think space is fake or you think space is real. Which is it? Oh, for God's sake, what now? Listen, CC, if you're bored and you don't really want to make this video, just press the stop button and spare us your nonsense. Or come back to the camera and talk about stuff. Because if you don't talk about stuff, I will have nothing to make fun of.
I don't know how else to tell people this. I mean, there's just no explanation of any of the nonsense that all the space agencies, military, just doesn't make any sense.
I've said this a million times in a million different videos, which is interesting because I only have about 370 videos on my channel. But you know what I mean. What about the non-military personnel that have been into space? You know, people that aren't involved with they and them. What about those people? Are they in on it as well? Are they lying as well? Now, I covered this in the last moon landing deniers video I did. You do realize that it took 400,000 people to get Neil Armstrong and Buzz Lightbulb onto the moon. So, are they all in on it? Is everyone except for flat earthers a liar?
I mean, does it? Think about it. Do you realize that our moon is the only satellite up there?
Wowza, you really haven't looked into this at all, have you, CC? What about Europa, Titan, Ganymede, Callisto, Phobos, Minos, Tethys, Charon, Triton, Dion, Umbriel? They're all moons from other planets in our solar system. But yeah, we can go with, but our moon is the only satellite if you like. It'll be completely wrong, but you know, you are a flat earther.
That is not revolving. Just happens to be here.
No, it doesn't just happen to be here, and it does rotate. It just rotates very slowly. The reason we only see one face is because it's been orbiting the Earth for so long, it's in what's called synchronous rotation, so it's tidally locked. It takes about 28 days to go around the Earth, but it also takes 28 days to rotate once, which is why we only see one face.
A 1 in a zillion chance. It just happens to be our moon.
The odds of the moon being here are completely irrelevant. You should just be glad that it is, because without the moon, the Earth would wobble like a fat bird's ass.
It's the only one that's not revolving.
As I just said, no it isn't.
All the other planets on Saturn and all these other satellites on these other planets are revolving.
Hang on a minute, CC. You are really all over the place today, so let me recap. Space is fake, but we've been there. There are no other satellites in the entire universe except for the moon, and now there are other satellites that revolve around other planets. Where exactly are these other satellites which are revolving around other planets if space is fake? Do you ever watch your videos back before you upload them? You know, just to make sure you're not making yourself look silly.
But we just happen to be the only one in the entire universe that it stands still. You can't get behind it. And you know why? Because it doesn't exist. It's not a tangible object up there.
Where? And in what universe? You can't say space is fake on one hand and then refer to the universe and moons and planets on the other. Earth's moon is the only place beyond Earth where human beings have set foot. It's the brightest and largest object in the night sky. The moon makes Earth more of a livable planet by moderating Earth's wobble on its axis, leading to a relatively stable climate. It also causes tides, creating a rhythm that has guided mankind for thousands of years. And the moon was likely formed after a Mars-sized body collided with Earth. It's the 5th largest of the 200 moons orbiting planets in our solar system.
That's a projection. That's all it is. Now, I'm sorry to lay this out for you, but it's a projection.
And where's it being projected from? And by what? I'd love to see that projector. Who runs it? Who decides what to project?
Everything you've been fed all your life is a lie. Everything. I mean, look at Hollywood. My favorite was, before I got to Flat Earth, I was really into Lady Gaga.
Okay. Dare I ask what that's got to do with anything?
And look at her now. Look at her now. Do you see a problem with her? Look at all the other Hollywood actresses and actors. They've sold their soul.
Oh, really? And who to exactly?
The devil!
Why? For money. But they don't realize exactly why they've sold their soul. Because Hollywood is corrupt.
Of course it is. Hollywood is corrupt. Governments are corrupt. Everything is corrupt. But me, I would never sell my soul for money or 100,000 subscribers. But I would love you to explain to me, CC, why exactly the world's governments being corrupt and Hollywood being corrupt leads you to believing that the earth is flat.
It costs an enormous amount of money to even go down to the ice walls, if they're even there.
Well, it depends what you mean by ice walls, doesn't it? Now, I know flat earthers think that there's ice walls in the Antarctic that prevent us from escaping the flat earth. They're not very high, are they, to be able to keep people in? You've got to stop thinking that the real world is represented in Game of Thrones, because it isn't. Anyone can travel to Antarctica anytime they choose to. It doesn't matter what any flat earth moron says. You can book a ticket and fly to Antarctic. You can even cruise around there.
It's all militarized. The skies are militarized. Do you know what that means? That means if you build a rocket up there in your backyard and you decide to go up in the atmosphere and go really, really far, well, you're going to get in a little bit of trouble because the military owns that.
Do they? I have no idea, and I honestly don't care either. You don't think it's possibly because of this? This is live flight radar taken off the internet, showing every plane in the sky right now over the United States of America. I can't even see a space for a rocket to get through. So yeah, they may need to monitor the skies for safety, CC. Not because the earth is flat.
The only thing that they don't own is 8.5 miles below us, which we can't dig down to. We don't have the technology to get down that far.
It's got nothing to do with technology, you douche canoe. The deepest hole on Earth by far is on the Kola Peninsula in Russia, and it was referred to as the Kola Well. It was drilled for research purposes beginning in 1970, and after 5 years of digging, the Kola Well had reached 4.5 miles deep. Now, drilling was stopped in August 1994 due to lack of funds, and the well itself was mothballed because of higher than expected temperatures at that depth, 356 degrees Fahrenheit instead of the expected 212 degrees Fahrenheit. So drilling deeper was deemed to be unsafe. So it's not that we can't dig down any further, it's that it's too bloody dangerous.
But yet we have the technology to go to the moon. But all of that has been destroyed.
No, I'm not getting into moon landing denying with you as well, CC. I just don't think I could take it. So, I bet that woke you up, didn't it? Before you go, I just wanted to mention, again, my second channel. There we are then. TWAT. Now, the reason I bring it up again, sorry, is that a few people have asked me, do I intend uploading it as a podcast to Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. Let me know down in the comment section if you want me to do it. I can. It's a bit of work, which I don't mind doing it, if people are going to listen to it there as well. Let me know what you think below. Love you, bye.
Alright, watch this next. But before you do, make sure you subscribe. By order of the Creaky Blinder.